and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Oh. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome to Spiked Kool-Aid. Man, I'm still tired. The boy was up till 4:30 in the morning. I was excited. I could still feel the excitement from the midday victory yesterday. But it is Monday, the 13th of November. We are halfway through the month of November already. Lions have 2 more games left before we have the rest of November off, and then we don't come back and play the Saints to the 3rd. But the Lions, man, improved to 7-2. What's up, everybody in the chat? Let me shout y'all out real quick. We got Robin's Nest, Rick. Rick says 2nd overall offense and 5th scoring offense, and we're also 2nd in not only the NFC, but the entire NFL. We'll talk about that a little later. Yesterday, how big was yesterday? Are we worried about the Vikings? Should we be worried about the Minnesota Vikings? And how good is it going to be to have that number 1 seed if we keep going? What's going on? Gene, Don Juan, Eduardo, Dern is in the building. Michael, what's up? Josh in his bag, 1021. Bro, listen, I watched the halftime. I was looking for you, man. I didn't see anything. I was like, watch, they don't even show them. So I sat here the whole halftime waiting on you to show up. And of course, they just show commercials and they showed the halftime show, but they didn't show anything else. But that's what's up. Hope you got a lot of picks, man. The refs was trying to keep trying, but Detroit keeps getting up. That's for sure. Joey in the building says 7-2 with a nail biter, but got the W. You know what's funny is that we're not allowed to criticize the defense. Like, all I saw yesterday, and even Dan Campbell, he didn't want to talk about the defense yesterday. He was just like, we got the win. Enjoy it. Don't let anybody try to tell you it's nothing different. And I know what he's trying to say, but I'm looking, but that's his job. That's his job, is to keep everybody in the moment. Our job as fans is to look forward. And he's not going to say that publicly, but I would have to imagine that he's talking behind the scenes with AG. Like, listen, we can't have that happen. We can't have that happen. Imagine if Palmer was there. Imagine if Mike Williams was there. I mean, we have to get better. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We have to talk about a pass rush. Are we going to get anything? Is anybody out there that we can get? We talked about it briefly last week, but today is my first show in a week, man. I was sick. So let me tell you, and we'll get into the stream. So last Monday, what did I do? I go to Meyer. No, I think I started feeling it Sunday. So my son got sick like 10 days ago, and he's been sick twice in the brief time that school has been in. Like, I'm talking about like sick for a week. So Monday night, I think it was Monday night. I could start to feel it. It's in my throat. I'm swallowing. I'm like, dang, this is going to be bad. So I go get some whiskey to make like a little hot toddy or whatever, trying to fight it off. And the next day I was like, oh no, I feel terrible. So now the cold, it went from my throat to my chest, like, and now it's on the way out. So anyway, so that's what happened last week. First show in a week, and it feels good to be back. Dan Campbell suffers from Randy Marsh syndrome. What a call on that fourth down to go for the dagger. Now, I'm going to be real. You didn't see he didn't give a game ball to the defense. No, he did not. Not this time. He gave one to, who did he give one to? The kicker, Riley Patterson, and he gave another one to somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But we got to talk about Jameson Williams too, man. Yesterday was a small sample size of what this kid can be. I'm definitely going to give him his flowers yesterday. We're going to take a look, hopefully, at that run block that he put on Montgomery. No block, no rock. Ben Johnson. Is Ben Johnson going to be the next coach of the Los Angeles Chargers? So we got quite the show today. I just got to remember. That's right, St. Brown. St. Brown is about to get paid. We're going to talk about Jared Goff and a proposed extension that Spotrac, however you want to say it, has proposed that he gets. And I think we're going to have a lot of discussion about that. It's going to be some things. You know what I need to start doing is writing this stuff down so I can remember. But the first thing that we have to talk about is the Lions and their potential, what they have the potential to do coming up. Somebody put it in the chat already about 9-2. I went over it yesterday and I was like, you know what? This team has a real possibility to be 13-4 by the end of the year. Is that going to be enough to get us the number one seed? If we're 13-4 and we don't have the number one seed, I'm going to be a little disappointed in that, real talk, because you're talking about 13-4 gets you number one seeds. You know what I'm saying? So Philly would have to be 13-4, 14-3, which they were last year. And I can see that happening. They got a brutal schedule coming up, and they've already won. They beat the Miami Dolphins. They also beat the Dallas Cowboys. So the only hope that we have now is a revenge game against the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills. They play those guys, so they can start stacking up some losses, and we have to keep winning. What's up, Easy Lions Minute? Austin Plyer, what's up, big dog? Jameson Williams, Jameson and 11 on the blocks. Like I said on the phone call we had the other day, too many wide open receivers. I think that's what it is with our defense. Well, that would mean what? Scheme or personnel? J-Mo started yesterday too. J-Mo is going to get a huge play for him if he keeps blocking this way. That's facts. Lions defense better show up versus the Bears. We should stomp the Bears. I think the spread is 9.5 right now. Patty says Lions 13-4. I can't see the Lions having a tough game into the Cowboys. You know what? I said that yesterday. And I said, okay, the Lions right now, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, right? But 9-2 is a real possibility. The Chicago Bears stink. With Justin Fields or not, they stink. Then you have the Green Bay Packers. They don't stink as bad, but they stink too, right? So you're talking about 9-2. The Saints are not that good. We could come out. You're talking about meaningful football in December. That's crazy. Crazy, man. We could be talking about 10-2 coming out of the game against the Saints, right? Then we got the Denver Broncos. We got the Minnesota Vikings twice. So we got some. It's going to be fun, man. It's definitely going to be fun. I said at the beginning, I said here 14-3. Okay, Robin. So who's our next loss? What's up, Cola? Says hi. That Montgomery and Gibbs duo is nasty. Yeah, I hear that we got the best. It's funny watching everybody, you know, how heavy they're on us today. We got the best running back duo in the league and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, where did all this come from? It's funny when you winning, man, how much praise you get. Glenn is great, but he needs to learn how to slow down. Great cornerbacks. What can he do? I don't know. Great cornerbacks or great receivers? We might clinch a spot as early as week 14. I think I was talking to Rock on Detroit Lions, and he was saying 14 would be like the earliest that we could clinch, I believe, a playoff spot. I was telling my pops watching the game at his place yesterday, we need to get out of our own way with the Seahawks and Ravens game was the humbling. We needed to get back on track. What's up, MSU? However, defense got to up themselves in the consistency factor. It's always a let me down game after a big win. At least it seems that way. Beat Dallas. You know what? So I was watching Dallas yesterday, and I was like, Dallas reminds me of the Seahawks, where they're hard to beat. We have a hard time beating them. We really do. So I could chalk that up as a loss. I think in Jerry World, man, because I was watching CeeDee Lamb go off. But if we do what we did yesterday, I'm not going to lie. If we beat the Cowboys 41-38, I'll take that all day. I'll take that all. I cannot stand the Cowboys, and I'm ready to beat these guys 100%. All right, so the first topic that I want to get into, let's get into this thing. Hold on, let me pull it up. No, what did I do with it? Oh, man. Okay. So, you know what I'm going to do during the offseason? I'm going to try to have some segments, like actual cutaways, you know what I'm saying, and have up my production value a little bit. Okay, so I think this is going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. Yes, I do. I barely got it, bro. Barely got my voice. All right, so here we go. All right. So I made a video last week about Hendon Hooker, and I want the chat to, interject in this topic. Had made a video about Hendon Hooker and how I believe that it's more likely that he goes from Jared Goff. Like, he goes over Jared Goff. And yesterday in Dan Campbell's press conference, he said he thanks God we have a quarterback. Like, I thank God we have one. And I keep trying to tell you that I tried to tell all y'all, Jared Goff ain't going nowhere. Y'all been trying to get rid of this man for 3 years. And the Lions have shown you over and over that they value Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff is playing top 10 quarterback football. Before that loss to the Ravens, he was in the MVP conversation. I think he's in there now, to tell you the truth. Will he win? It's very similar to Matthew Stafford. I don't see him winning, especially with the likes of Patrick Mahomes and those guys out there. But Jared Goff is a solid quarterback. He doesn't have to be flashy. To me, he's much more of a game manager than Alex Smith was. All right? Those are just my thoughts. But it doesn't matter what I or you think. But let's talk about this. I saw something today, and I want to get you guys' input on this. All right? Now, what this is this is coming from Detroit Lions on tap. All right? Check this out. Jared Goff is predicted, this is according to Spot Track, to get a nice payday in his next deal with the Detroit Lions. This would put him as the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He's currently 13. All right. And here is what they're suggesting. 5 years, $210 million with $168 million guaranteed. That's what they're suggesting. 5-year extension, $168 guaranteed with a total of $210 million. Now, if Jared Goff was to get that, and it is an extension, and it doesn't include his 5th year that is coming up, that means that Jared Goff will be the Detroit Lions quarterback if he rides out that contract, all right, until he's 36 years old. He'll retire a Detroit Lion. Now, what does that do? That would be $42 million a year. I've already done the math. Now, when we talked about this before, we talked about 40 to 45. I said right now, if Jared Goff got $45 million, he would be the 5th or 6th highest paid. Believe it or not, Patrick Mahomes is now 5. He's 5 or 6. You got Jalen Hurts, you have Justin Herbert, you have Joe Burrow, and you have Lamar Wilson. Those guys are ahead of Patrick Mahomes. And remember, several years ago, he took that $500 million deal, highest paid, most ridiculous contract we've ever seen. I believe Deshaun Watson is up there as well. So Jared Goff, 5-year deal, $210 with $168 guaranteed. All right. Now, Josh says 2 to 3 years, 5 is too long. Braylon says $41 million. Dern says 5 years. I trust Brad to make the best decision possible. Dern says 2 to 3 year extension with $42 million a year. That would put him about 126 or so. 126. How much of that? Okay, so you guys are saying 2 to 3 years. I don't know. I don't know if they do that. Because the thing about this is, and I tried to tell y'all this before, Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker will be done okay, so Hendon Hooker is going to be here 2 years after Jared Goff's current contract expires, right? We know what we have in Jared Goff. We know exactly what we have. We have no idea what Hendon Hooker is on the NFL football field. So if you extend him, I'm not mad at this deal. I don't know what Jared Goff is going to be doing in 5 years at 35, 36 years old. I mean, he's 29. He's 29. He's a fresh 29. He just turned 29, I want to say, at the end of October, somewhere around, I think it's October 29th. So you're talking about 5 years. If they extend him and add, if they replace the current year and add the year, that puts him at 34. 34, 35. I think he retires a Detroit Lion, which I would love to see in the first place. So Joey says, for me, the playoff performance will determine if we should give him an extension. I like Goff, but I don't want to limit our cap to go after free agents. Okay. All right. I hear what you're saying. But we got to think of it like this. The whole time I've been doing this channel, right? This is what I would like to see. I make videos based off what I would like to see and what I think the Detroit Lions may do. But honestly, everything Brad Holmes have done has been contrary, for the most part, from what we want, right? We know we don't want him breaking the team. So I feel like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to prioritize what they feel is necessary, right? And to be honest with you, Joey, if you look at our trajectory, our history, what we've been doing, we don't go sign big free agents. Now, will I be making off-season videos about free agents? Absolutely. But the Detroit Lions, that's not what their current MO is, right? So there will be some big name free agents coming out in 2024. Some big, huge, the best class I've seen in a long time. But does Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, is their priority free agency or their current roster? And from what they've done, bro, I think it's going to be their current roster. So if Jared Goff, you would have to believe that Brad Holmes is going to, it's probably, my thought is going to be like back heavy or something like that. As the cap starts to go up, it'll get increasingly bigger near the end. I'm not mad at this deal. I'm not at all. We have a good thing in Jared Goff. Everybody's talking about him now and his resurgence, and he's back from the dead and all this other stuff. I like this deal. If it, whether or not it replaces that fifth year that his fourth year with us now, or it adds to that, that means Jared Goff is the quarterback of the future, of the foreseeable future. I like this. Just re-sign Hooker to be the backup when the contract expires. We can do that too. Goff gets a 4-year extension. 42 sounds extremely good to me. I trust Brad. I like 42. 42 is not bad. Jared Goff right now is making like $31 million. So I'm not mad at that at all. So I wouldn't be mad. 42 million, still top 10. Top 10. By the time he leaves the Detroit Lions, he'd be like the 25th highest paid quarterback. So I'm not mad at this at all. Let me know what you think. Do you think we can get like the 49ers? We can be successful with multiple different QBs like Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and Brock. You know what, Josh? I want to be better than them. But yes, I do think we can get like that. But Brad Holmes has to start prioritizing the defense. He has to start doing that. He did it this year. Brian Branch, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jack Campbell, who still has yet to kind of find his place. But this year, bro, I want to see defense in the first round. I want to see defense I want to see, we are going to need an offensive lineman. We're going to need one probably in this draft. We don't know how much Taylor Deckard has. Frank Ragnow is already going on to year 6 or something like that. Big V won't be here anymore. Can we re-sign Jonah Jackson? So we might, because remember, we lost Evan, what was his name? Not Evan Wilson. What was the lineman we lost last year? He went to the Seahawks, but we lost to Evan Brown. We lost the guy last year. So we're going to have to get an offensive lineman somewhere in free agency or the draft, but he needs to prioritize defense 100%. Once Max Crosby contract expired, we need to pick him up. You know what, Braylon? I don't know if we'll want him by then. He just signed a massive deal, bro. He's going to be over there for the next 3 years. All Lions fans believe Brad Holmes is a god. He did sign GJ and also Sutton. If he is such a wizard at drafting, he should be able to get a young QB so we can pay all the other players like we need to. I don't know, man. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. Wow. Hold on. We got some breaking news, bro. The New England Patriots cut cornerback Jack Jones. They cut that fool. What? What is he in any legal trouble? Dang, I know Brad won't do it, bro. because Jerry's playing solid. Wow. The Patriots, the downfall has begun. They cut that dude. That is crazy, bro. Man. Okay, B-Love, what's up, big dog? Says team won, but I hope defense feels like they lost so they can step up. Wow. He picked us off. Wow, that was unexpected. Huh. Okay. So I feel like, listen, he gonna be here a while. Bro, we better have like 80% of our draft picks to be defense. Well, right now, I want to say we have 7. So you're talking about 5 or 6. You know what I thought about yesterday, too? Our offense was clicking, and that was without Donovan Peoples-Jones, man. I mean, our offense is going to be solid. I can't wait to see this kid next week, hopefully. Okay, let's do this, because I saw this, and I want to bring this in. No, I bookmarked it. All right. Eventually, y'all, I'm going to get a producer. I'm going to have somebody that does this for me. So that's going to be fantastic. All right. This is going to be great. I can't wait to bring this in. I cannot wait to bring this in. I got a feeling, I really got a feeling Belichick is going to be unemployed after this season, if not sooner. Okay, check this out. So here's what I think. I think Bill Belichick, he's 70-something years old. Him and Pete Carroll like the same age. He's been coaching for a very long time. If he still wants to coach, I think he coaches somewhere. I think he's going to be the first head coach hired in the offseason. If Bill Belichick wants to coach, he will have no problem coaching, in my opinion. It's just a matter of, does he want to continue? He's almost 30 years coaching? So I don't know. Oh, Eduardo, I don't even know how I could do it, man, because this person will be like, he'll be, remote. So I would have to have him controlling scenes and stuff like that. But a lot of my shows are free flow. So I would have to, get some type of production going on first. Okay. All right. Now this is fantastic. Let's do this. You guys know I've been very tough on Jameson Williams, and I think it's tough love. It's not hate. I don't dislike him. I'm not ready to call him a bust. I just feel like we need to see more. And yesterday, even though it was a very small sample size, this kid did well. He did not drop the ball. 2 targets, 2 receptions, 18 yards. I like the play they called for him at the end of the half, trying to make nothing or something out of nothing. I love to see that. Unfortunately, it was wrapped up real quick. But while his catching skills need some work, he did well yesterday, right? We know what this guy can do when it comes to having the football in his hands. But what's more impressive to me is his ability to block. And while you don't draft somebody 12 overall to block, Jameson Williams, his blocks have been solid. He blocks aggressively. He's always looking to initiate the contact. And this guy did very, very well yesterday. I want to break down this play, and hopefully we do not get a copyright claim nor a anything like that, or nor get the stream shut down. But this is the Jameson Williams. This is the 75-yard run from David Montgomery. All right. And this is going to be, Montgomery's here, and he's going to break this thing in, and he is going to cut it up. Now, I want to skip a little forward, see if we can miss. Okay. Now, that's the perfect. This is after Montgomery makes this cut. He makes the cut in the middle of the field. He's going to cut it off to the left, and he's gone. Now, I want to play this before because you can see. All right, let's try to do that. I'm going to try to play this and not get a copyright claim. All right, so here is the initial. All right, look at Jameson Williams right here. Jameson Williams is here, and look at him right here. So Montgomery is going to cut it and go out to the left. Now, look at Jameson Williams out there. Now, you got Derwin James here, and then number 36 is going to come and try to take the angle. This touchdown happens. You'll see Khalif Raymond. This is St. Brown here. Khalif is going to come out of nowhere too. But this is St. Brown here. St. Brown eventually gets down there. But I'm more impressed with Jameson Williams and his ability to, 1, block the play, 2, not give up. He is the reason that this play was able to go the distance. So we're going to play it. J-Mo out there leading. He actually has to slow down to make sure he gets these blocks. Now he's going to get a little bit of Derwin, but 26, and there's Khalif here, 26, he gets just enough of Derwin James and 26 Asante Samuel in order to create the space for this to happen. And that's when David Montgomery was tiptoeing on the sideline there. But I am truly impressed by this kid's ability to never give up on a play. And as you can see, he's behind the actual play, and he's able to get down there. And he is the reason that Montgomery was able to go all the way to make that play happen. So Jameson Williams, as far as a catch standpoint, stuff like that, yeah, he's got some work to do. But it's plays like this that you see why Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes wanted this guy, right? Because he's fearless. We know that. He can make plays. He blocks. He was a gunner in college. He was a punt returner in college, and he has massive potential. And this is without the football. This is what we want to see from Jameson Williams. Even though it was a very small sample size yesterday, extremely small, it was, to me, probably the best game that he's played. Overall, the best game that Jameson Williams has played as a Detroit Lion to me, from blocking to catching, because he didn't have any drops. When was the last time Jameson Williams had the same amount of receptions as he had targets? And he is responsible for the last 20 yards of David Montgomery, 20 to 25 yards of David Montgomery getting that touchdown. So love what I saw. No negative things to say about Jameson Williams yesterday. Let me know what you think. J-Mo had a good game yesterday. It was a small, but what do you say? Although it was called off. Oh, the touchdown. I forgot about that as well. The touchdown that was called back, which was busted. That was a despicable ticky-tack call on Taylor Deckard. I was just like, these guys are trying to take stuff away from the Lions at this point. I forgot about that. The screen pass that was taken in yesterday. When O-line and D-line are great, this team is great. Should we focus on Jackson and Sewell before Goff? Okay. I'm going to say no, because Penei Sewell's fifth-year option comes up this year. So we still got him for 2 years. We do need to focus on St. Brown. And St. Brown about to get paid. St. Brown is going to get paid. Let's talk about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 16 receivers drafted before him. He can count every single one of them by name. He knows what school, right? Only thing he doesn't talk about is where they were drafted. This guy is going to be an absolute stud for the Detroit Lions and their future. If you caught Brad Holmes yesterday in the locker room celebrating with the Detroit Lions, what did he say to St. Brown? This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So that tells me that, hey, bro, you're going to be around a very long time. St. Brown, what was yesterday? The 6th consecutive game with over 100 yards or something like that? Ridiculous. This kid is going to get paid. In my opinion, he's going to get more than Deebo Samuel. He's worth more than Deebo Samuel. He can do what Deebo Samuel can do, right? This kid is going to get paid, and we have to prioritize him. I think the offseason priorities are going to be to get a deal with him and Jared Goff done before free agency even gets here. That would be my opinion. Give St. Brown whatever he wants. Just hope his contract comes before Chase, because Chase is going to get the bag too. So Jamar Chase was 2020. He was 2021, right? Because Burrow was 2020, and then Jamar was he was 2021, right? I think he's going to get the bag before, but they have to pay him too. God, I feel great about my evaluation of St. Brown, as you should, Dern. People think you can put any QB in the backfield and we can win. No, we're not there. Tyreek Hill is the highest paid receiver with $30 million a year. Okay, so I don't think he's going to get that. You know what? Let's speculate. What do you think that Amon-Ra St. Brown should get for a contract extension with the Detroit Lions? He's going into year 4 next year. He obviously deserves one, because I tell you what, if the Detroit Lions let him walk away, I will be the most disappointed I think I've ever been in this team. Like it would to me, it would be up there with 0-16. It would be 0-16 and then letting this kid walk. That would be, this guy is the blood of our team. There's no way we let him walk. Okay, it was the same draft class. Okay, so that means that Jamar Chase is not, he's good. Because next year, Bengals will pick up his fifth-year option. Then they still got a good year. So St. Brown being that fourth round pick, he only has a 4-year deal, so he's going to get the bag first. And it's not going to be Jamar Chase, but it's going to be up there. All right, so average of the top 10 wide receivers says, okay, Robin says $25 million for 4-year is going to be the start, I fear. Wait, so that's in total, Robin? $27 million a year for 5 years. At least 20, about 23. Kirk, get 20 a year, so as much as that. Top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, 20-year. Letting St. Brown go would be worse than Detroit letting Sue walk. Okay, Dern, I would agree with you, bro, but we got to remember, Ndamukong Suh was a free agent. He was a free agent. He chose not to come back here. So I can't say the same thing about that. He chose not to come back. So that would be different. Like if we wanted to pay St. Brown, but he didn't want to be here, then I wouldn't be mad at the Detroit Lions. But if we didn't try to offer him nothing or try to get him to stay at almost any cost, I mean, obviously not breaking the bank, but people, and I told y'all, we gonna have to pay somebody. All right. So this kid needs to be paid, period. 20 mil. Kupp is making $27 million a year. Wow. Okay. Yeah, the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill. Okay, I'm going to say St. Brown. You said Kirk is making how much? Okay, Kupp is making 27. Huh. $25 million a year for how long? Kirk is making $20 million. OBJ is making 20 for like a year, right? Okay, I'm going to say that, okay, how much is Deebo Samuel making? How much is Deebo Samuel making? I didn't have this pulled up. I know this going to, Deebo's making $23 million a year. I'm going to say St. Brown. Okay, Deebo was a second round pick, St. Brown a fourth. I'm going to say, I think it's going to be around 20 million. Zoe said he ain't no Deebo. Nah, bro, he better than Deebo Samuel. He better than Deebo Samuel. But let me know what you think. How long? I'm going to say St. Brown gets $20 to $23 million a year for 4 years. I think that's what he gets. He gets a 4 or 5 year extension, anywhere between 20 to 23 million. That's what I think. And he'll still be under 30 by the time his contract is up. That's crazy. So let me know what you think. What is the deal and time of St. Brown's extension? 4 year, 87 million. That's not too bad because that's 22.2 a year. That's not bad. Brown gets 25 plus. DJ Moore is making almost 21 and St. Brown is better. Okay. There you go. We're 23, 24 million. There you go. Like I'm thinking about this. You know what I want to talk about too? Let's talk about this because I'm feeling some type of way. What way is that? You might ask. I'm feeling this type of way. Yesterday, the Lions, they showed grit, right? We lost the same type of game last year that we won yesterday. Instead of, Dan Campbell with the call on 4th and 2. Love it. We'll talk about that later. But I want to say something, and I'm going to go against the grain here when it comes to Detroit Lions fans. Lions are 7-2. We keep winning. We got a real chance to win the division. That's all we got to do. Keep winning, right? We're going to have to beat the Vikings at least once, right? But when it comes down to this year, in my opinion, there's no reason to settle. I'm going to repeat that question. There's no reason to settle. Why settle for a division title? Why settle for a home playoff game? Why settle for a home playoff win? Why settle for making it to the division round of the playoffs? Throw all of that out the window. There is no reason that this team should settle for anything less than all. Getting it all, taking it all. There's no reason. Lions fans, do not sell yourself short. If you don't want to hype yourself up because you're terrified of being disappointed, okay, fine. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I am like, forget all this. We going all the way. We going all the way. Tell me something different. Do we need to up our defense? We need a pass rush. We do. We're going to talk about that a little later as well. Our defense, we cannot have these type of performances when in the playoffs, okay? We can't. When we play the Eagles, if we play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, something like that, we cannot have. But why stop at a division title? Why stop at a playoff win? Why limit ourselves? Because what? We don't think we're there? We don't think we're there. Our offense can compete with anyone, and that's facts. And we didn't even have Donovan Peoples-Jones. Jameson Williams ain't even clicking on 10 yet, okay? Jahmyr Gibbs, he's come to his own. David Montgomery, what a blessing it was to have him back yesterday. Two-headed monster. Why are we going to settle for anything less than all the way? Is it because we're not there yet? My same fan base said that they were 63% in favor of the Detroit Lions' current roster being able to win a Super Bowl. Right? Over 50% of y'all said that. So why can't we still do it? Why can't we still do it? Eduardo says we should not be settling. This is the easiest schedule we have had in a while. Next year, we could be a better team, but not as much wins because harder schedule. Elite offense is elite, defense is buns. Yeah, I mean, defense was buns yesterday. Overall, it ain't buns. Last year, it was buns with cheese. Yesterday, the defense is buns. I'm not going to say the defense was buns from one game, especially the way they've been playing. Was it questionable? Absolutely. Does Aaron Glenn need a spanking? You better believe it. But I'm not going to say it's buns. When we face Philly, that game will be a shootout. They can't stop anyone, and we can't stop anyone. Going to come down to who has the ball last. Defense need to step up. Our offense can be in the top 3, and I stand on that. Well, what was it? It was top 5 yesterday going into yesterday's game. They can win defensive games, did it early in the year, and high-scoring games. I'm just like, why settle? Why should we settle for anything less? There's no settling. We've been settling for 50 years, y'all. It's time to throw that mess out. It's time to throw it out. The only disappointment for me would be not winning the division and not winning a playoff game. I'm not going to say that I don't expect my team to go all the way. Of course I do. This year, I'm saying, you know what? Why not? Why not? So let's get that first seed. Let's get that first seed. Let's host every single game to the Super Bowl. And let's go down to Las Vegas in the middle of February and do something we've never done, which is playing a NFL Super Bowl. I'm taking the training wheels off this year. I'm breaking free of the shackles. I'm done with SOL. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, why settle? I'm tired of selling, y'all. We have a real possibility here. Time to get banners, plural. Love, Cousins, and Fields are garbage. Next year, Goff is the best QB. Well, as of right now, Kirk Cousins he doesn't have a team next year. He will not have a team next year. So that's where we are. But let me know what you think in the comments below. We walked out of the Chargers game free of injury. We need that number 1 seed. Absolutely. I hope Josh Dobbs isn't the answer to our why not. Hey, shout out to Josh Dobbs, bro. Josh Dobbs is playing some good football. I saw some of his plays yesterday. I'm like, listen, I feel like Josh Dobbs might be the Minnesota Viking quarterback. I feel like he can be the quarterback. That would be a story right there. That would be a story. Let the kid play. If he take y'all to the playoffs, then he needs to be y'all quarterback. Eduardo says Bengals and 49ers made the Super Bowl from a 3-year turnaround. Why not us? And that's real talk. That's real talk. All right, it's time to talk about it. Detroit Lions. How many sacks did the Lions have yesterday? How many sacks did they have yesterday? 0. Crickets. Nothing. This is now 6 games In 6 games, the Detroit Lions have 3 sacks. Some got to change. Now, I talked about it yesterday, or not yesterday, last week before I got sick, or when I came back, whatever it was, about the fact that we need a pass rush. Ain't no scheme cutting it. We play good quarterbacks. We don't get to them. Maybe y'all believe me now because you're crazy. No, believe me. I said this, John. I do this. This is what I do, right? I do this. Y'all let all that smoke and abracadabra and, hocus pocus, y'all let all that stuff confuse y'all, and y'all miss the point. There is no pass rush for the Detroit Lions. None. Now, we play Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields, Jordan Love. We might get 20 sacks between them 2 guys. Still don't mean we have a pass rush, right? I'm talking about a consistent pass rush. And for another game, zero sacks. Now, to the credit of the Detroit Lions offensive line, you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa over there, and they didn't get sacked. They didn't get a sack at all either, right? But I don't care about them. I'm talking about my team, right? We need a pass rush. Didn't make a move at the trade deadline. Chase was looking pretty good yesterday. Looking pretty good. Him and Bosa looking pretty good. Oh, imagine if that was Hutch and Chase. But, okay, that ship has sailed. So what do we need to do? We need to go get somebody. Now, there's 2 names that were brought up. One was Jason Pierre-Paul, and the other one was Melvin Ingram. Tell me which one you would want. I personally would want JPP. Give me JPP. Fingers and all. No fingers and all. Give me Jason Pierre-Paul. That rhymed. No fingers and all. Give me Jason Pierre-Paul. Hey, trademark me. Don't steal that. But we need a pass rush. Hutchinson is a ghost. I don't know if it's Hutch. I don't know if it's the double team. I don't know if it's the triple team. Oh, we're going to get James Houston back. Well, let me tell you what. James Houston is 245. He 245. He ain't played. Y'all act like he going to come back and be a stud. Let me tell you something. James Houston is not even removed from injured reserve. That means we're going to have to wait another 2 to 3 weeks before he even plays. So you're looking at a playoff push for this guy. Jason Pierre-Paul, seasoned veteran. At this point, it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. So everybody that's like, oh, we don't need it. Dan Campbell's talking about, okay, we don't want to disrupt the locker room and all that stuff. You know what, Dan? I feel you. I understand what you're trying to do, okay? But I get it. But when we play Jalen Hurts, when we play Patrick Mahomes, when we play any good quarterback, we can't get to him. And don't forget, it's a 1-game elimination in the playoffs, right? So that game could come down to a sack. I'm tired of 2nd down and 6. I want to see a 3rd and 14. I want to see a 4, 5, 6-yard loss. I want to see a Aiden Hutchinson and another book in and share sacks. That's what I want to see, right? We got to make a move. We need something to happen. Aren't both available free agents? No. Are they washed? And why do we throw out the word wash so easy? I don't understand this. Why do we throw out? Y'all was saying the same thing about Chase Young, that he was washed. I'm not. Can we not throw the word washed out? Can we just not do that? The NFL stands for not for long. Jason Pierre-Paul been in the league for like 14 years. So his time has passed. His time has passed. He ain't no young whippersnapper. You know who else faded into obscurity? Terrell Suggs. He just was here and then he wasn't. But while he was out there, he was a nightmare, right? Even when he played for like the Cardinals for 1 or 2 years. J.J. Watt, another guy, right? Washed. You've been in the league for over 10 years. Keenan Allen, 11-year vet. He didn't look washed yesterday, did he? Mike Evans, 11-year vet. What are we really saying? We got to stop throwing out the word washed like we're talking about clothes, okay? Seriously. And at this point, our defensive line is washed. So can we get anybody? Anybody. I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's Cameron, you good, bro? The word washed, it kind of annoys me because, okay, they're not in the league. Yes, they're not in the league. But at this point, Ndamukong Suh is not in the league. And a lot of y'all want Ndamukong Suh on this team. Is he washed? I don't know. Can he contribute? Yes, he could. Do I want him on this team? I do not. Right? But I'm just saying, at this point, anybody who we picked up, anyone, if they came and got me, I would be a help to this team. That's how bad our defensive line pass rush is. We could not we touched them twice, could not get them down, right? We need a pass rush. Give me Jason Pierre-Paul. You blew your trade deadline opportunity. That is spilled milk. All we can do now is clean it up. Clean it up. Go get Jason Pierre-Paul, bring him on this team. He in shape, he ready to play, make a playoff push. And Ndamukong Suh sitting out there waiting on somebody to pick him up because he know his value, right? Bring him to the team. I think you're forgetting that Bradrick Martin is going to take us to the bowl. No, to the toilet bowl, like your name, bro. Them not wanting to disrupt the locker room can be the only thing that haunts them. I don't get why Brad didn't get an edge at the deadline. You know what, B-Love? That's a good question. And we gonna be asking ourselves that question all year, the rest of the year. And I'm gonna tell you what, if it come down, let me ask y'all a question. 2021, Super Bowl 56, our former quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is in the Super Bowl going against the quickly turned around Cincinnati Bengals, right? The difference in that 3-point game was Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was the difference in that game. Joe Burrow does not get sacked and gets that ball off. Chase walks in for the go-ahead touchdown. My point is, don't let our season come down to one play. Don't let the quarterback have all the time in the world to stand in the pocket, and don't let him throw a walk-off touchdown. I will lose my absolute mind. All I have to say is Brad Holmes has an opportunity this year to make something happen. There's no excuses. None. And I will be the first person to criticize him if he fails. The first person. Washed is better than still being folded up and in the drawer. Hey, washed grit is better than being on the floor with some stains in it, bruh. Or in a hamper. You get that funky smell. Get Brandon Williams, defensive tackle. I like your videos. Appreciate you, bro. Current roster is good, better with injured players returning. Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question, Reborn. Who's going to make this roster better by returning? That much better. Because the only person you're talking about got to be, let's be clear. I'm talking about defensive line pass rush. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm not talking about Anzalone. I'm not talking about Jack Campbell. I'm not talking about Derek Barnes. I'm talking about defensive line pass rush. Those 4 guys on the defensive line is who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anyone else. Nobody else. How about Rodrigo focus on playing offense? Hey, bro, Rodrigo was out there doing his thing, playing fullback. I'll be right behind you on that. What's up? Josh says there was a great pass rush directly across from us this weekend. Didn't help them. Hey, that's because our O-line is Gucci. We got one of the best O-lines in the NFL, Josh. We locked up Max Crosby. We locked up. You had Sewell go against Nick Bosa his rookie year. So that's not even a fair comparison, bro. I know it could be better. The D-line actually impressed me on the 6 straight stops from the 1. That junk was that upset me. They gave up the score, but it still was impressive. Yes, it was. I know exactly who that was referring to. I guess those stained jeans would be like James Houston. The linebackers are one of those getting our sacks, not even the line. Sewell is a monster. That's true. Sewell is literally the best right tackle this year. Maybe just need better defensive coaching. Okay, you know what, Tom? Maybe. But here's what I see. And this is why I think that it might be a little more than that. What I see, okay, is let's look at our sacks. Let's look at our sacks. We have 3 sacks in 6 games, okay? And as a matter of fact, let's pull up the Detroit Lions schedule. Let's do this. Let's see, because if you, just like, numbers and math and analytical data, it means something. We don't have the personnel to win on the defensive line. We don't. To consistently win, I should say, on the defensive line. So because of that, we need to be exotic. We need to call schemes and all this other stuff. Okay, so let me pull this in. Okay, where we at? Lions preseason. What year is this? What year is this? Detroit Lions schedule. All right, here we go. All right, so, okay, they're showing us. Okay. Lions played the Kansas City Chiefs. They got no sacks. So follow along. Let's play this game. Lions got, because I want you to point out the difference between the sacks, the teams we got sacks against, and the teams we didn't. The Kansas City Chiefs, we got no sacks. Seattle Seahawks, we got 1. The Atlanta Falcons, we sacked Desmond Ridder 7 times. We sacked Jordan Love 5 times. We sacked Bryce Young 1 time. We sacked Baker Mayfield 1 time. We sacked Lamar Wilson 0 times. We sacked Jimmy Garoppolo 6 times. We sacked Justin Herbert no times. All right. What do you see? What do you see? Our multi-sack games come against bad offensive lines and bad quarterbacks. We have, out of these 6 games, we have 3 sacks. We got 2. Where we at? Patrick Mahomes, 0, right? So follow along. Geno Smith, 1. Bryce Young, who's not that good at this is his first year, 1. Baker Mayfield, 1. 3 sacks. Games with 0 sacks. Chargers, Ravens, Chiefs. That is a problem. That's a problem. The only one that I'll give any how many times did Lamar Jackson Wilson get sacked yesterday? How many times did he get sacked yesterday?
He's the funniest guy who gets the job done. Likes how to's renovate, so fun. Man, he's so crazy, better crank up the fun. Lamar Wilson.
I guarantee you that the number 1 defense in the league is top 3 in sacks. The number 1 defense in the league is top 3 in sacks. I promise you that. I haven't even looked. Last I checked, it was the Ravens. It was the Browns, and it was the Ravens. So the number 1 defense in the league, I guarantee overall, is number 1, top 3 in sacks. I promise you. Lamar Wilson threw a pick 6 yesterday. Hopefully we will continue to draft well and build through the draft. Our youngins are becoming quality vets on low salaries. I can appreciate what Brad is doing. You know what? I appreciate that too, Josh. I really do, man. But eventually, those young guns are gonna get paid. If you're gonna be that good, you're gonna get paid. Okay, it's only been a handful of teams in the history of the NFL over the past 5 years. Well, in the history, in the last 10 years, that have gone pure draft and gone all the way. And I don't think any of them have won the Super Bowl. I'm just putting it out there. Brendan says you're getting it. That's the whole point. Getting it stuck in your head. We should see Nowoski get some great reps on the D-line and scheme him like Dallas does for Micah Parsons. I mean, but Micah Parsons, bro, you're talking about the 11. What draft pick was he? He was like top 10, 12, somewhere around there. Micah Parsons is no Trevor Nowoski. Myles Garrett had 2 to 3 sacks on Lamar alone. Man, I'm trying to look like Myles Garrett. I need to buff up. Look, I got my gym schedule worked out. I'm going to drop my kid off. I'm going to the gym. Right? I'm losing weight. I'm trying to look like Myles Garrett because he's ridiculous. I just think that, like Dan said a couple weeks ago, we're ahead of schedule. I don't think they plan on the youth developing this quickly. That could happen. Last year's Chiefs, I think. The Chiefs, the Bengals, there's another team that hasn't really got any big name free agents that have gone on, but they haven't won. The Chiefs, but the Chiefs got like Patrick Mahomes, bro. Maybe I'd rather try something. Chiefs and 49ers are the lowest points allowed. Scary knowing Mahomes is backed by a great D. But you know what the funny thing is, man? His D has not been that good, and he's still been winning. The Chargers are 3rd in the league in sacks, and they couldn't touch Goff yesterday. Count, we've talked about that, bro. We've talked about why. We got one of the best offensive lines in the league when you have a Taylor Deckard, a Frank Ragnow who didn't play last week, a Penei Sewell. You know what I'm saying? When you got all of them out there, then yeah. So we've seen Penei Sewell lock up Nick Bosa, right? So we've seen him. I don't think he's allowed a sack this year, right? So I think that our offensive line, we can't look at what they did to us because we got that top 3 offensive line. I'm talking about guys that don't have an offensive line or an offensive line as good as is the Chargers O-line as good as ours? Lions not bringing anyone to the team that's not a good leader, high character. We not signing nobody. Okay. And that's going to be a problem. I'm hoping Brad gets a DN and cornerback with 1st, 2nd round picks. Jameson got cheated on that touchdown. Yes, he did. We have the best O-line coach on the planet. I was at the game, me and first down, his dad and brother, Josh Gibbs, and running back coach. No, I got a Facebook, bro, but I don't use it. You better off sending it to Twitter. Before yesterday, Sutton and Jacob were the top 20 in coverage for PFF. You know what, man? They was calling some garbage on Cam. One was a good call, one was trash. That in the end zone, that was absolutely garbage. I think Houston doesn't get hurt. Our pass rush will be a little better. You know what, one stop? It could be. I just don't have a ton of faith in James Houston. James Houston is, like I said, 245. You going up against guys that weigh 300 pounds. And if you can't outrun them, you're not going to get anybody. A 330-pound lineman will lift James Houston up like a baby. I just don't have that much faith in him changing the game. And plus, he's not going to come from practice squad to 8 sacks. People are going to plan for this guy. They're going to plan for James. And James, again, is one of them strong outside edge rushers. So all you got to do with him is step in the pocket. If you step up in the pocket, he's not going to be able to get to you. You just made a video about what Brad said. He's not giving up what he wanted. Draft picks, 20 deep. Okay, Reborn, I have no idea what you're talking about. When we just struggle against bigger receivers, we need a bigger corner. Man, when Jerry went down, bro, Keto, facts. And I listen, Jerry Jacobs to me is meh. I'm sorry. There's a few guys that I will give their flowers, but they're going to be some dead roses in there. Jerry Jacobs, his story to me is bigger than him. I'm entitled to my opinion, and it's two guys on this team that I think are overrated. Jerry Jacobs, okay, and I think James Houston is the other one. Those two guys are super overrated. Jerry Jacobs can tackle. He can tackle. He's a tackling machine, but he's not that good in coverage. Pass interference after pass interference after pass interference is always called on him because he's not the greatest in coverage. You know, you barely hear about Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton yesterday was only the second or third time you heard the man's name because he just comes out there, he plays ball, and he got robbed yesterday. So, I mean, like I said, we need somebody on this team. We're not guaranteed to even see Houston again this season, and that's true. That is true. Dan Campbell said, now I want you to remember this, all right? Remember this. He has not come off IR yet. So once he comes from IR, add 3 weeks to that before we most likely see him. Then, okay, add maybe 1 or 2 until he's in like really game speed. All right. This guy hasn't played since September 17th. So we're talking about 2 months almost that he hasn't played. He's got at least another month to go. And then he's coming off of it's not like his upper body, his forearm was broken. He broke his leg bone, right? So how strong is he going to be? I've broken my leg. Your leg shrivels up after it comes out that cast. So James Houston might not be as effective as he would have been had he not broken his bone. So we need to get somebody on this team. We need to get both real Harrises next year. Just move Jack Campbell to our defense. All those big pass plays came on Jacobs and one came on Sutton. Rush. We need to get to the passer. AG got to get aggressive and get to those QBs. Listen, I agree with y'all. 100%. But look, y'all, that is the show. I appreciate y'all. We only on for an hour. We'll be back on Wednesday and Friday talking about more Detroit Lions. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next stream.